Hello, my name is Melissa Beck. I'm going to call myself, I think, Eclectic Stitcher, if that hasn't been used. And I can't see very well right now because I just took off my glasses. So, we'll see how this goes. This is my probably 6th attempt at making a floss tube over the course of a month or so. So this one I'm going to stick with. I don't care how many times I say or if I feel like I look silly, I'll just keep it on here. I have noticed that as y'all have done more and more of your videos, you've gotten more comfortable with them, so I'm hoping that maybe I'll do that. Let me think of some of the tags. I live in Atlanta. I was born in East Tennessee in Oak Ridge. My dad was in nuclear energy research. I claim Tennessee, although my formative years were spent in Cincinnati. My family goes way back in Tennessee. So, what else? I call myself Eclectic Stitcher because I do many, not just stitching, I guess I should say eclectic crafter, many things, but stitching is my passion. It has been since I was probably 7 or 8 years old, which has been over, well, about 50 years. I do have a needlework repair and restoration business. I'm also a published writer, and I'm going to show these quickly because I really do not like to market, so I'm not marketing. I'm just going to show you because people may ask. This is a book that I did. I was in the Georgia Romance Writers and Romance Writers of America for many years, 16 or so years, and it took me that long to get that one published. I do have a publisher. It's not self-published. And a couple years ago, so that is fiction. It's just a little contemporary romance. And 2 or 3 years ago, I did a nonfiction, Blue Ridge Scenic Railway, and this is for Arcadia. And I loved doing it. It has a lot of pictures and facts about the area where we have our cabin up in North Georgia. So, I'm proud of those. And for just another passion is I collect antique needlework. I have a lot of that I can show you, but I really am going to have to limit this today, but I will show you. This is one that I just bought off eBay. Is it upside down? Yes. Hello? Okay. I bought off eBay and I just really liked it, and I have done this. I have a great big huge table runner that I framed, but I have done filet crochet. It took me 3 years to do my project, and if you hold on a second, I will go get it off the wall. Let me pause. This is mine that I did. It is very large. You can see that it's a table runner because it's got a repeat on both sides. And I put my name and date. And I think I figured there were like 250,000 stitches in this. Took me a year. This will be my 25-year-old daughter's one day because we were actually looking at colleges, and I had this in my little pouch with my carabiner attached to my jeans while we were looking at colleges, and I was just filet crocheting away with my little hook. So let me put this down. Sorry for the light. Okay. So I do crochet. I do knit, but I do not have any knitting projects in here at the time. I can show you some later. I currently have a couple of sweaters on my needles, and I have a cabled afghan that I'm working on. But getting to stitching, sorry for the delay. Oh, and I'll also show you one more thing before we get to my stitching projects. Our Georgia Basketry Association is coming up next weekend, and I will be doing baskets. I've only done this for 3 or 4 years. This was my first one, and this is my another one. These are just little bitty ones. I do larger ones too. This is a little sampler picnic basket, sampler size picnic basket. And then this is, I like to collect antiques. And this I will have to put my glasses on for. Okay, this is a small brown egg basket that we inherited. It belonged to my husband's great-great-grandmother. I believe she was in Kentucky, and it does have some damage. It's missing some things, but her dates were 1837 to 1907. So these can actually be repaired. Never throw away an old basket because they can actually be repaired. I just haven't done that yet. But anyway, I just love the fact that we have an old basket that belonged to his family. Alright, now getting to stitching. I'll show you some of my whips. Can't show you stash today. I'm just going to try to make this brief so I can figure out how to get it on. Okay, so I'm doing the Snowflower Diaries. I'm in that stitch along group. Love it, and I love stitching this. This is how far I am so far. It's a calendar, so I'm ahead. I'm up to March, yay! And this is 1/1 on 28 count. Backwards on there, right? I don't know. Anyway. Okay, so I'm working away on that one. I really love doing that. Let me see if I can just, there we go. Try to get that out of your view, that window, even though it's closed. And then this is one that I'm doing as a journey, like a year-long journey that we do a contract for in our Sampler Guild here. And my friend and I talked her into doing it with me. This is Susan Johnson out of New York. Does a beautiful job on this. This is also a stitch along group, Facebook group, and as you can see, it's just gorgeous. And you get this booklet, and in the booklet, I can't show you a lot of things because of course a lot of it is her pattern. She does, let me just say, she does an excellent job. But look, it's got my name. It's so cool that it's like my book. And did I spill coffee on it? Of course I spilled coffee on it. Did I lose the back plastic? Of course I lost the back plastic. Because I can't keep anything clean. Here's the coffee spilled down it, and it's messed up my book. I'm so upset. But anyway, what you get is you get written directions, you get diagrams of every stitch to do in here. I mean, I haven't done most of these stitches. I've never done cut work. I've never done pulled work. I'm going to, and the cut work is really scaring me because, you know, with knitting, I never wanted to do steeking and cut down on the placket for the buttons, for the buttonholes and everything, because I thought, oh my gosh, I just don't want to cut into my piece, especially when you've finished it. And so we're doing, like, I'll show you mine. We're doing some of these. We're not doing the pulled work yet. She said to wait on that because that will, you know, mess with your linen and your straightness and everything if you, I don't know. Obviously I didn't read that part, but I know I'm not supposed to do it yet. Okay, and the cut work, we're going to do the stitches and leave the cut work. So we're down to about here, and we got this much to go, so that we will finish this for our sampler journey in our Sampler Guild, and then you get a little prize if you finish your contract, and ours is October to October. So here it is. This is mine so far. You can see, hope you can see it. I just love this. This is darning. See, this is a darning square. And then, you know, these are Smyrna crosses. Then you've got satin stitches. You've got herringbone stitches. You've got back stitches and all kinds of little things that I forgot the name of in here in the lace. And I love it. Sometimes it gets tedious when you're doing a whole lot of, you know, back stitching or a whole lot of satin stitching, but I pick it down and pick it up depending on, you know, when I feel like working on it, and or depending on how far Deb has gotten with hers. We're in a little running heat to get it completed, you know, around the same time. This is the first time I've used Q-snaps. I usually stitch in hand. This is the first time I've used this cloth, and I forget what it's called. Is it Congress cloth? I forget. Neither one of us is very fond of it. Hold on, I'll tell you what it is. It is yes, it is 20 Congress cloth 24, I think. I would do this on linen. If I could redo it, I would do it on linen, and so would Deb. And that was an option. We just went with what, you know, I don't know why we did this, but I like it, and it's easy to do. It's probably a lot easier to do on this cloth because it's easy. It's like even weave, but it's real stiff. I think it'll be fine once I frame it. Okay. And it's pearl cotton. It's all pearl cotton that we're stitching with. All right, so those are my two main projects that I'm working on right now. And then I've got some other ones. I've got finishes from last year that I haven't. I'm really bad in all my projects. I am very bad about completely finishing. You know, baskets, I'm supposed to polyurethane. I don't get that done. I need help. Okay, this is, I know y'all have seen this. I've seen this on, some people are doing it. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not supposed to show that. So sorry. Do not copy. Winter snow stocking. I'll show you a picture. It's by Heartstring. I'll show the picture. The picture was in here. Hold on a second. Sorry. By the way, I bought these 10 by 13. These are great. And then I just put this on it recently. You get these for $2.99 when they're on sale at Joann's. And they're so great and sturdy for your projects, because I have not made any project bags. I've bought some. I bought a couple. Okay, it's this. And I have done, this is, I believe this was, yeah, this is 1/1. I've done that much. Okay, so that's one project. I don't know when I'll pick this up again, because I'm really into that Snowflower Diary stitch along, and of my calendar. And by the way, these were free. This was a free pattern. I just love it. Okay, next. Then we have Carriage House Samplings, Adam and Eve. I have not used silk. I'm trying to think if I ever used silk before. I think this was the first time I did. I did this year, 2016. I'm using silk on this because it called for it, and I bought it at a shop that when it was going out of business here. Hi, Susan. And she already had it kitted up, or somebody had it kitted up. So I am using it, and I love silk. I love the sheen on it, but as a needlework repair and restore person, I do not like the fact that the silk projects I've seen come in that are old, antique, silk, are not in good shape. So just something to think about. It does not hold out. It's organic, and it's animal material, you know, spun by the silkworms. And I've had things that I just have like done this with a brush and it has just been dust. But that's, of course, hasn't been properly taken care of. Things should be acid free, they should be kept away from light, they should be kept out of attics. That helps a lot. And I know there's silk that's been around for hundreds of years, so I don't know, at first I was adamantly against it, and now I'm kind of, I don't know, it really is pretty. So these are my silks that go with this. This I got at probably a thrift store or somewhere, you know. I tend to do a lot of that too. Okay. And so how much is done? It also came with this over-dyed fabric. And I've only done this much. This is a beautiful piece, but I kind of feel with over-dyed fabric the same way I do about silk. I've seen things run, I've seen things ruined by bleeding colors, and I am just a purist. Even though I love this, and I think it's going to be great, and I'm stitching it on this, if I were going to do a sampler or something, I'm a purist. I would not do the over-dyeds, which is not to say that, hey, if you do them, that's cool. I see beautiful projects done on there. And, I mean, who knows who's going to have this stuff forever, or if we're just doing it for our own enjoyment, we should do, you know, whatever we want. So, hope I don't offend anybody by just stating my views as a restorer. Okay, this I haven't started, but I just brought it in here to show you. Something fell. This I bought, this was funny, I bought this at an estate sale, and this was started, and then there was a whole other project, a whole other sampler started down here. So I took the whole thing out, and what I was left with was this. And I asked on a Facebook sampler page, sampler group, if anybody knew what this was. And they did, and they said it was the Sarah Pope sampler, 1773. And I found it on eBay. I was so excited. So I'm going to get to finish this sampler. And I'm so happy that I've got the fabric, I've got the start. I'm such a weirdo that I might take this all out and restart it myself. Who would do that? I don't know. But I need to look at the stitching and decide. Perfectionist that I am. Okay, anyway, I have that, and I've made copies of my pattern. It's a huge, let me just show you. I'm not going to show you the pattern, but let me just show you how these patterns used to be done. Look how big this is. This is the pattern for this sampler. It's huge, huge, huge. I mean, the house is like this big on there. Anyway, so I would like to do that one. That's in one of my little mesh bags. And I'm going to put that away real quickly. And I think I have one more to show you today. Okay, one more to show you today. Let's show you this one. I bought this pattern off Etsy. And I loved it because it was like so me. Okay, this is Sandra Sullivan. This is Homespun Elegance. And what I love about it is Santa's little list says, gifts to you. samplers to stitch, sweaters to knit, rugs to hook, quilts to piece. I'm not much of a quilter, but I have done some, a little bit, but I also hook rugs, and I have a piece to show you, a hooked rug piece to show you, but that will have to be for another time. I'm in a group that meets for wool hooking too, and I love that. But I love this. Now this is on a very low count of linen. Here is where I got to. I started this kind of around Christmas. And see how it's that like 10, I think it's 10 count. So here's where I got to. And this is the first time I've ever used. Me, the purist, I've always, just done mainly DMC cotton. This is, I think, Whisper. Yeah, this is Whisper. And it's so cool and soft and fuzzy. And you're supposed to take like a little cat comb and brush it up to fluff it up. I really like that. And then his beard too has got some in there. I like this. It's different. But I'm going to make that into a pillow. So, all the thread for that. Everything that people were talking about how they kit things up. A lot of people kit things up, and I tend to get it as I'm doing the project. I have a lot of DMC floss. A lot of it I've just picked up through thrifting, or buying other people's floss. And I don't tend to have duplicates. If I get duplicates, I don't know why I don't keep them. I guess just storage room. My craft room is not huge, but I do have a dedicated craft room. One of the bedrooms is a dedicated craft room. And when we moved into this house, I had both of those closets shelved, like with deep shelves, so that I could put all my craft supplies in there. So it is a craft room. I have a table that is made out of another needlework finisher. The only other needlework finisher I know who is does a lot of it like I do. Told me to just get a door, go to Home Depot and get a door and put that on top of one of the tables that you get at Joann's, one of the craft tables, and then put oilcloth on top of it. And that's what I've done, and I love my table. I just wish I had more room around it. It's not in the middle of the room, it's pushed up against a wall. And yesterday I had a problem that I said on Stitch Mania. I cut my linen wrong, and I was so upset that I cut that linen wrong. Very hard on myself when I make mistakes. Some of y'all can relate. But I'll use it for something else. And I have, trying to think of some other projects. I have everything ready to do his eyes on the sparrow. I like big projects. I was cutting my fabric to do Prairie Schooler ABC. I was going to do it on 32 count over 2, 1 over 2, and see if I liked that, or 2 over 2, depending on how much coverage I wanted. And I have all of that, all of those patterns, and I have all my thread ready to go, but I cut the thing wrong. And then somebody said, well, I never cut until I've started stitching. And I said, I thought of that. I only needed to cut off like 9 inches on the end, because it's huge. It's gonna be 25 by 47. And why I decided to cut it, for some reason I kind of just thought all day long that I was gonna cut it wrong, and then I just turned around and did it. So very upsetting. But I do want to start that soon. And then Dina on Flosstube has been doing Smoky Mountain Christmas, and I love it. It's got the black bears that I've seen all my life, going to up to Gatlinburg and Sevierville to see my grandparents, and now my mother lives there. it's just so hometown. Black bears and Santa in his little patchwork quilt coat is just so, and the mountains in the background is just great. And so I have that, and I don't have everything for it, but that's one that I want to start soon. I also need to get linen for it. So if anybody has any suggestions, if you have that or you've kitted that up and you have suggestions on linen, let me know, please, because I am not sure. It doesn't sound like it's going to be huge unless you do over 2. It seemed like it was going to be kind of small if you did over 1, and I don't know that I want to do it over 1. But what else? What else? Sold a couple things on eBay lately, mostly yarn. I am not very good at selling. Not very good at marketing my books, and I'm not very good at selling on eBay because I hate posting it, I hate mailing it, and I just never make very much money. To me, it doesn't seem like it's worth my time. Much more worth my while to do needlework restoration and repair, and I can show you some of those that I've done if anybody's interested in another floss tube. But that has, for the last 7 years, taken up so much of my stitching time that I had to tell everybody that I wasn't doing it. And every now and then somebody will get to me with a great story. I've got great stories from what's happened to people's needlework and what I've repaired. Maybe I'll do a book on that. But anyway, I had to quit or I wouldn't be able to get any of my projects done, and I really, really want to do a lot of cross stitching. So that's it for now. I hope that everybody has a good stitching week or weeks, or I hope I get this on Flosstube. Otherwise, you'll never know that I wish you happy stitching. I appreciate everybody's floss tubes. I watch you all a lot. I watch you when I'm stitching, ironing, driving around in the car, which my husband is like, "Are you watching that screen?" I just kind of sit it up, you know, on the little, I don't know what you call that thing in front of the radio, that ledge. I kind of tilt it on the ledge and I play it through my hands-free, and then when I'm driving through the mountains, going to get my mother, bring her down to Atlanta for whatever, for a visit, I listen to it. And I get really irritated when I'm in the mountains and I don't have any reception, like all the way through the Smoky Mountain Parkway. There's no reception for 37 miles, so no listening. But it really is fun and really makes you feel like there's this huge community of friends, of stitching friends out there. I've always been in groups here in Atlanta. You can find local groups. We don't have, believe it or not, we don't have a local cross-stitch shop. So if you're thinking of opening one, please come to Atlanta. We desperately need one. We have needlepoint shops. We have quilt shops. The big one closed recently, but we don't have cross-stitch shops. We have a quilt shop that has limited amount. So online is a good way for us to get our stitching supplies. I like 1-2-3 Stitch like everybody else does. I like Silver Needle. Those are really friendly ladies. So anyway, and I have a friend here who sells. So if you need a local person, she is just starting up selling. She used to have a yarn shop. So I guess that's it for now. Sorry if I've droned on. I hope I did a decent job, and thank you again, and maybe I'll see you soon.